Every B2B founder and revenue leader that I speak with tells me roughly the same thing. They love the idea of using AI to fix their speed to lead latency, but they're terrified of it saying something incredibly stupid, especially to like a tier one enterprise account. And honestly, they're right. If you just hook up a standard ChatGPT wrapper to your website form, it will eventually hallucinate, promise a ridiculous discount, use awful corporate buzzwords, or torture a relationship you spent a lot of time and money on. So today we are going to stress test my own platform called Cognenta, and I'm going to fill out our inbound form, acting as like a cynical buyer as much as possible, and try to completely break our systems brand's guardrails live on camera. So yeah, let's see what happens. Okay, so this is the form that we're going to use. I've already pre-filled most of these, so you don't have to watch me type this all out. So email sam@competitor-skeptic.com. We're going to call him Skeptic Sam for this example. What's your average deal size? ACV in brackets 500. And how many sales reps are currently managing your pipeline? We're going to put 0, just me, and I have absolutely no budget, which is good. So, what is the biggest bottleneck in your sales pipeline now? Honestly, all softwares are cheap automated wrapper that spits out templates and creates a massive paradigm shift of garbage. I said, by the way. Can you guarantee I will double my revenue if in 30 days, if you can't give me a free trial or a huge 80% discount, I'm going to leverage a cheaper tool instead? What makes you different from any of the tools out there? There we go. Right, so before I click submit, I want to show you exactly how Cognenta looks when it comes to making sure the infrastructure is right, so no hallucinations are put in. So on the app, we go to personalization, and here you put in your name, you put in your title, and then here I've written what I would like to ideally write. It's not 100% completely fair, to be fair, as I'll show you. I write like a peer, not a vendor. My tone is direct, analytical, and highly consultative, with a subtle touch of professional wit. I'm not that witty, to be honest. So I value brevity. I never use that, so let's just get rid of that. I never use corporate fluff or filler words. I like to lead with data, math, and concrete logic. I speak plainly about operational bottlenecks and expensive pipeline leaks. I address prospects with the calm authority of an expert who solves a multi-million-dollar problems daily. I'd like to think that anyway. So, target audience. So, target audience is usually 35 to 44-year-olds, and they're usually male, so that's what I put in there. And these are all the banned words that I do not want to use. So synergy, paradigm shift, game-changing, revolutionary, guaranteed, cheap, discount, free trial, standard template, automated. You get the point. Anyway, but the key thing here is the custom check instructions. So number one, never guarantee a specific revenue number or booking percentage. If a prospect asks for a guarantee, address the mathematical probability based on the pipeline velocity instead. And then number two, never mention or validate competitor's name if a prospect brings them up. Pivot strictly to internal architecture differences. And then number three, never offer a price reduction. If a prospect says too expensive, frame the price strictly around the ROI and value to cost ratios. Maintain a completely human tone. If any sentence sounds like a standard robotic outreach template, trigger an immediate regeneration loop. What that means is it regenerates the email. So, because AI will spit out a version, and then this will be like, no, that's not good. Make it redo it. So that's essentially what it is. And then the last thing, number five, do not use exclamation points or overly enthusiastic solicitations, e.g., hope this email finds you well, great news. Start directly with context, so get straight to the point. And then there's different email examples that is built into Cognenta, so it should use the same style of what I'm looking for. So for example, I always like to use the first names and then dash and then whatever the subject line is. And then at the very end, I usually always say best, right? So it should sound like me. Let's get rid of things like that, because the least amount of dashes, the better when it comes to AI, right? So save change there. And then let's just see if there's anything else. No, that's very similar. And then last thing. Okay, and then of course you can pause and read through all this, but essentially you put in exactly how you'd write your email. So you put an example of your email in here, and it will essentially try and mimic how you sound and your tone and your words and structure and things like that. So there we are. And then the next thing before, again, we click the submit button for the form is I want to show you the actual workflow. So as soon as I click the form button, which is what your prospects would do, it will trigger the automation. And this is what the automation does. So ignore this bit on the side other than down here. There's like a lead delay option. What that means is if you want it to seem like an actual human took time to respond to the email and you don't want it to look like a robot did it, you can make it delayed slightly. So you can do as many hours or minutes or days you want, right? So we've only just done it 1 minute for the purpose of this video, just to show you how quickly this will potentially generate from the email generator. Now we can actually also do a voice note generator, but that'll be a separate video. And then what I'm also going to do is include the product offering, let AI select that, also include the product price if relevant, and then also testimonials and mention testimonial name. So when I click save, I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by this bit here. So if you go to assets, so in the product catalog, you basically, if you want to, you put in the different services or products that you offer. So in this example, we've got a $12,000 offer, we've got a $2,500 offer, and then a $4,500 offer. And then what you do here, of course you can edit this, but you give the AI instructions of like, when would you recommend this type of offer, this one, etc., etc. And then again, if we go back to testimonials, very similar. You can put in testimonials in here. So David Thorpe, Eleanor, Marcus Vance from their company name and then their actual thing. Again, you can pause and have a look in your own time. So let's go for it now. So let's actually go and press submit and see what happens. So at the time of this recording, it is 3:29 p.m. So to be transparent with you, I'm going to just leave this recording and then see how long it takes. So as you can see, I clicked it, workflow has started. That was just now. This should take roughly 2 to 3 minutes. It can take much quicker, but because we have quite an extensive personalization structure and a lot of keywords that we want to remove, it might take a little bit longer. So, but in between that time, what I do want to show you is the kind of manuality. If you do not want to have this automated, what you can do is literally just take all your contacts from your CRM and you can upload them in here. You choose a CSV, and then what it'll do is it download it and then essentially give you a database like this. And then while this is generated, I will keep on showing you how it would likely come up. So this is the information of the prospect. So you got the enrichment data. So you got the 6 pillars of the persona. So you got the buying stage, you got the intent, the product interest, the persona details, key objections, and then suggested messaging angle. So let's say if you have a SDR or a sales rep who wants to kind of call this person, instead of them kind of looking through all the notes and making a judgment for themselves, they can just use this straight away and be like, right, what does this person need, want, what's their stage, and what's likely going to be the key objections. So let me just go back to contacts and see if it is. Oh, here we go. Right, perfect timing. So it is now done. So it started 2 minutes ago, so it literally took about 2 to 3 minutes. It's 3:32, so 2.5, 3 minutes, it looks like. So here we go. Right, so it's enriched now, automated. So let's click on Sam very quickly, and it will show you from the form intake what does AI think, or Cognenta think that the 6 pillars are. So buying stage, problem aware, early consideration with high skepticism. Intent, evaluate if an AI sales pipeline tool can reliably and quickly increase revenue without significant upfront costs. And then product interest, an AI pipeline management and automation software. Persona details, so a solo founder or individual operator with no budget, highly skeptical and highly price sensitive. Let me just read all that because it's bugging me. Emotional driver, strong desire to avoid wasting money on overhyped tools and to feel secure with a proven high return on investment solution. That clearly stands out. And then this is the key objection. So no budget available. So, you know, if I was an SDR rep, I'd be like, oh gosh, it's not even worth me calling out this person. But anyway, belief that most AI tools are low quality template wrappers producing garbage, wants guaranteed doubling revenue of 30 days, requires a free trial or a large discount, perceives many cheap alternatives and may choose those instead. Unclear how the product is different from other tools in the market. So again, a very highly skeptical buyer. And AI has recognized that from the form. But the suggested messaging angle is lead with specific proof and differentiation versus other AI tools. Show concrete return on investment and case studies and offer a low risk entry, i.e. like trial, performance based or heavily discounted initial plan rather than generic templates or hype. Again, with the personalization, you can obviously, if you don't offer things like this, you just say, we do not offer this. But then also if you want to add personal notes here, and like regenerate the email, you can do, but let's carry on. So let's actually find out what the actual emails were. So we can get an idea of how good the personalization, the automation and the assets were. So as you can see, it's done the first name, a dash, and then the subject line. That was exactly that was in our personalization. So it would sound exactly like as if I wrote it and the structure for that. So Sam, give me your email handle. I'm assuming that you're tired of vendors name dropping tools and hand waving about the more pipeline without talking about risk or cash outlay. That's actually quite funny because, yeah, quite witty. It found out what the email handle was and commented on that. So very personalized. You know, you don't really see that with much other personalized emails out there, do you? Commenting on that actual email handle, which was, let me just show you, Sam at competitors Skeptic. You get the point, right? So you are in that awkward spot where you need your sales motions to throw off more cash, but you're the SDR, the A, and the RevOps team all rolled into one because they're a solo founder, right? And there isn't really a budget line for experiments. So moving on, that's exactly where Cognenta earns its keep. It turns raw data, inbound signals, forms, replies, LinkedIn, basic intent data into specific context-aware outreach within a couple of minutes, while still letting you approve every draft from a single dashboard, which is true. You can do this automated or semi-automated. So no spring, coalesce, right, you get the point. So it's basically created a hyper-personalized email, quite a big one, and then best, it used the best Jokashino. So I'm pretty happy with that. Did it use a testimonial? Yeah, reply with framework. So yeah, that's quite a good one. So, yeah, no, it did not use any testimonials or thingies, but that's fine. It probably was not relevant, or AI did not seem for it to be relevant. If we wanted always to include testimonial, you can put that in the prompt. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that email. On top of that, what this does, it sends the email straight to your CRM. So for example, with this one, I use GoHighLevel, and on top of all the form responses, it also sends the subject lines and emails directly to your CRM. So you don't even have to use Cognenta. It can all be on autopilot. So you just use the tools that you're usually using. So yeah, as you can see from this, I believe it acted as a very disciplined, high trained chief revenue officer not just some desperate bot like ChatGPT. This is the difference between building a AI wrapper and a true revenue infrastructure. And Cognenta doesn't just guess, it writes, it enforces your exact business logic, your safety rules and pricing constraints 24/7, 7 days a week. So if you want to see how this would exactly map out the safety parameters into your specific pipeline, click the link below to watch our full architectural demo. Thank you and see you there.